from the Buccaneers. Masangani has managed to scrape in a cross. It's away only as far as Olisinda. As Allende. Finding Konyane. Looking to play out from the back are the All-Stars. Peterson, nice and composed. Allende, it's excellently done. Well, this is the brand of football that we're going to see, and I think we're in for a lot of excitement here as Gabinde cushions it back to Peterson. There are 3 DDC players in the back line, which is exactly the same as in 2024. And you would think that's probably where you want to have a little bit more experience would be your centre-half pairing. It's the Mamelodi Sundowns duo of Thabo Gabinde and Vincent Sithole, who are both great ball players, good with the ball at their feet, but perhaps a little susceptible to pace being exploited against them. We'll wait and see how that shapes up.
Just like in the 2024 edition, 2023, where they had Itumeleng Khune with his experience, they have a Peterson that can marshal the youngsters in the back four.
Well, back in 2023, Khune had 2 fairly experienced players in front of him, Raman Pahlele and Jabula Ngobo. At the 2 subsequent editions, including this one, it's been young players in the back line. Last season, Bukazi and McCarthy. And if you think about what a launch pad this competition has been, or this one-off spectacle has been, well, those players have been given those opportunities to show how can we compete with the senior players, and they've often done very well. Vilakazi would be a great example. He scored in 2023 as he puts this one in. He's always had such terrific set-piece ability as Mfundo Vilakazi.
One thing I can tell you, Grant, with Mfundo Vilakazi is when he was spotted by Kaizer Chiefs scouts at the Fields games, he hit 3 free kicks and scored those goals. So now he's become a magic left footer with those set piece.
He scored from quite some way out very early into 2023's Carling Cup final against Stellenbosch. Hit one of those, I guess, a knuckleball type free kick that deceives Sage Stevens. Some might have felt the goalkeeper was a little culpable, but he put so much venom behind the shot it zipped up awkwardly for Stevens, and that was the opener.
One thing we're noticing with Allende is he's good in holding the ball. There's the set piece we're talking about, putting it to the back post. Then Buthelezi had to make sure that he gets a connection to it, because at the far post, a brilliant run was made by one of the attackers of the All-Stars.
It's been hard for Buthelezi to get a look in with the incumbent Sipho Chain playing so well this season. Did come on as a sub in the CAF Champions League preliminary rounds after Chain got an injury. Many feel it was a little soft. He wanted to give Buthelezi a chance in that match, a 4-0 win against Didori of Lesotho. Back to Buthelezi, taking no chances as he gets that clear. Makaula wins it in the air and again. I'm surprised they didn't allow Orlando Pirates to play on.
He holds the ball very well in that middle of the park, and we know Mabaso is going to be one key player in that 6. He's going to be the holding midfielder, because Allende and Vilakazi and Sales are going to be the one that just entrusted in combining those passes so they can break down the Orlando Pirates defense.
Dar quickly closed down here by Naledi Hlongwane, the 20-year-old from Sebokeng. He's part of Kaizer Chiefs DDC side. And as you mentioned, Lucky scored 2 goals in last season's Carling Cup. Set up first by Samkelo Zwane, who was getting a look in. Zwane actually scored in that game, having not netted for the senior team. And then Hlongwane with another excellent goal from range that time around. And Dylan Shepherd mentioned during this week that it was a good launch pad for him, because he had scored 1 goal in 6 months of DDC action, and then hit 13 in 3 after that brace for the All-Stars.
As early as the first minute, one thing we can pick up is that the All-Stars, they're looking to play that ball just behind the defense of Orlando Pirates, because they know Van Rooyen will be looking to attack most of the time, and this man in Ndlondlo will be the key just to hold on to that ball. And we know 1v1, he's good at just going past players.
And Van Rooyen, another player, is a little bit short on game time, just 4 appearances this season. Allende finding Khonyane. This is Vincent Sithole. They call him Controller. He's 19 years of age. Finds his Mamelodi Sundowns centre-half partner. Rare to see so many left-footed players in a back four. Lucky.
The modern game, Grant, you know, whichever they put you in the field of play, you have to perform. It's just all about communication, especially importantly from Peterson to just organize that back four.
And Sonkelanga to Ndlondlo. Some will feel will be a candidate for player of the tournament for the Carling knockout, despite the fact that he was on the losing end ultimately. Coming up against his former side. He spent 3 years at Orlando Pirates, did in Ndlondlo, won the ball really well here. Finding Fundo Vilakazi. For Langa. He's lifted it into a fairly dangerous area with his head, but Hlongwane couldn't connect with that. He's impressed, Mangobe Mwiti, in the 2 training sessions that he's seen of young Hlongwane. He made specific mention of him this week.
Absolutely, and that is why, you know, when they don't have the ball, he can close down the defenders very quickly, and in attack he always makes himself available in that danger area in the box.
Now the ball won really high up the pitch. Here's Allende. Yet to really see Artur Sales involve himself all too much in the opening 8 or so minutes that we've watched so far. Vilakazi, Sales. Sithole has worked it out wide to Roberto Khonyane. Nothing will come of this as Orlando Pirates successfully deal with the danger. Wow, Masangani seeking to move it on. 2 teammates collide. Makaula is up and running fairly swiftly. But then again, you would almost always expect someone who clashes with Makaula to come off second best, which is certainly the case here for the young Simphiwe Masilela. If you were to ask him prior to the game whether this was on his bingo card, I doubt it.
Yeah, absolutely, Magaola. We know him, Magaola, there in the middle of the park. He doesn't shy out of tackle. So he saw Red coming but didn't see Masilela, so he tried to get to the ball. Masilela was already there and he collided with these men. A very strong central defender.
Having another look at that is Absalom Waru with Ryan Jacobs. did say that he was going to take this game very seriously, did Coach Wadu. Despite the fact that it's effectively an exhibition, but it is just a little bit more than that, as the ball has moved on here to Van Rooyen. Won this competition back in 2023 with Stellenbosch.
There's the wing play we are talking about, Grant Van Rooyen, just looking to go down this line, and you know, having a player like Maswanganyi who can pick him up anytime with the pass. I just felt that when he controlled it, he should have just heard an early cross into the box where Mbutuma was lurking. Good cover defense.
Langa's done well to smuggle that behind, but it does come at the expense of a corner. Here's Maswanganyi standing over it. Something from the training ground, whipped in from a different angle. I think defensively, in such a short amount of time, that's the most difficult thing to organize from the perspective of the All-Stars. Having tried to get this team on the same page in only 2 training sessions, the first of which they had out at the Chatsworth Stadium, and then getting a feel for this pitch. That's Moses Mabhida.
In a case like that, Grant, you know, one thing you do, you go to the basics. I mean, you looked at the All-Stars defending that, covering the right area, having 2 players in front of the ball.
Lovely work from Van Rooyen. Maswanganyi. It's just clipped off the shoulder of Van Rooyen, diverting it away from Mbutuma. Vilakazi somehow managed to hang on to the ball here quite excellently, and then goes down under the challenge of Makahleni Makaula and gets a free kick. Fairly similar distance to the free kick that he scored back in 2023, then as a DDC player for the All-Stars.
You see the experience of Magaula there. He knows that Vilakazi is going to be beaten with pace, so he just puts his body on Vilakazi's body just to bring him down. Professional foul, nothing malicious, just to break the attack play. And you look at the love between the 2 players, because you know it's part of the exhibition. And here we see Van Rooyen, when he's on form and free of injuries, that's what he'll give you any given day.
In from Allende, it's appeared to go direct. Perhaps he just wanted to put it in with pace and hope that someone gambled on it, because it was some way off the mark in the end.
I can tell you that was a good ball from Allende. I just feel that Sales just took a little bit of time to take off. If he would have taken off a split second earlier, maybe even go for a tackle on that ball just to connect it, it was a brilliant ball, because Melusi was caught in 2 minds.
So, poor ball, and now All-Stars have it again. Salez receiving from Ndlondlo. Just waiting for some support. Mbutuma recently scored a double in Orlando Pirates' 3-1 win over the Montfort Golden Arrows, so Mangola Mniti knows all about him and his capabilities in front of goal. Siema almost showed it to Salez, and Hlongwane closing down Melusi Buthelezi. Hlongwane with that brace last year. He's the only player alongside Cassius Malula in the history of the Carling Cup, if you go back all the way to 2011, when it originally started out as a derby, Chiefs versus Pirates, the fans voting, and then in 2022 was a slightly different format, including Zulu and Sundowns. Sundowns beating Pirates by 4-0 in that particular final, as Pirates make some inroads here. Good header clear. Ndlondlo. Allende. Vilakazi dispossessed by Van Rooyen. Still going on. It's Siema.
We can spot that Orlando Pirates has now twitched its formation a little bit, going three at the back with Van Rooyen pushing up, and there's the tackle on Langa. And Langa has been very instrumental on this left-hand side because he's looking to go down the byline.
Langa has played less than half of Skakuni's Betway Premiership matches this season. Danson finding a ball from Butuma. It's broken back to him, and his attempt to drill it to Van Rooyen is intercepted. Allende receiving from Vilakazi. Khunyan.
I wonder if you spotted Khongwane there. Just because he's a left footer, it becomes difficult for him to think that he has to go down the right side and then bring that crosses in. He's always looking to go inside and connect with the middle fielders, and Allende avails himself very well for him.
Again, Pirates spring into life after intercepting. And Allende has done well to cut that out. Back to Peterson. He's kept the most clean sheets that he's ever managed in a single league campaign already. Before Kaizer Chiefs have even hit the halfway mark of this particular season. Sassan finding Siema. Mr. Koza, and some very stylish glasses on our colleague Fernando Manelje. It's looking good.
Next to Mr. Max Lifestyle.
Yeah. It's a fairly extensive bench for the All-Stars today, but they have to be very careful about how they introduce those players, because they must remain with 5 DDC players on the field. So they can't turn to their bench, for example, right now and bring on all the Chiefs' first-team players that are currently sitting in the dugout.
Butuma complaining about something. The story about this young man is that he was found and spotted at the Kaba Cup, one of the biggest tournaments in KZN region, and signed by Richards Bay, became the top goal scorer.
And Ndlondlo looking to replicate his Chan heroics against Uganda, although the goalkeeper was off the line, but he's certainly capable from there.
Now rotating the ball on this left-hand side to find Langa, and look how Sales set him up. I just felt that he should have just laid on to the ball so he can keep it low, but was leaning back and then it rised.
Oh, we've never had to wait this long for a goal in Carling Cup All-Stars match. Scoring was opened 11 minutes in last season by Naleth Hlongwane, and in 2023 inside the first few minutes by Vilakazi. In fact, there were already 2 goals scored at this stage in 2023's Carling Cup matchup. Ashley Dupree from the penalty spot just past the 10-minute mark in that game, as Coach Schwadu voices his discontent.
You can see why Orlando they just didn't need to go at the back of Mbuthuma. It was a foul. He should have just kept his ground. Now Masilela, he can even get an injury from a tackle like that from behind the ground.
Masilela hails from Ermelo in Mpumalanga. Allende almost gets it right for Langa.
Once again, the foul on Masilela from Allende. The good thing about that is that he didn't connect to any of his Achilles tendon or the calf.
When Orlando Pirates DDC team met Mamelodi Sundowns at the beginning of November, they came from a goal down to hit 5 against Sundowns, a 5-1 win. Masilela was on the score sheets that particular day, and as things stand, Orlando Pirates are topping the DDC standings with 31 points after 13 games played, 10 wins, and just the 2 defeats. Mamelodi Sundowns trailing them by 2 points. So it looks like will be another very, very exciting race in the DStv Diski Challenge as the All-Stars get forward here. Vilakazi goes down in the box. Referee is producing a yellow card that is marching towards Obrigado, who cannot believe that he will be the first player booked today.
Let me tell you, Grant, I'm in 2 minds. I think they nicked the ankle of Vilakazi, because now, one thing he did well, as we look at it again, he protects the ball with his left, but Makaula nicks his right ankle. So for me, the referee got it all wrong. The right foot leg of Makaula, it nicked Vilakazi's right leg. So the ball was on his left leg controlling it. So for me, the referee got it absolutely wrong. That was supposed to be called a penalty.
If I can play devil's advocate though, Makaula does get his studs, just grazes his studs onto the ball. If he's not going to give a penalty, awarding a yellow card for simulation is just a step too far in your opinion. Very harsh.
Yeah, very, very harsh. But I tend to disagree with you that Makaula didn't even touch or smell that ball. Not even an inch of his toe of the boot got to the ball.
No, we did see a penalty converted for the All-Stars back in 2023. Ashley Dupree brought down by Moloi-Sane in that particular instance, and a spot kick was awarded, which he duly stuck away. Vilakazi is still airing his grievances, unsurprisingly.
I agree with him. I support him on that one, because you look at it once again, you look there, he controls the ball with his left and Makaula goes straight right through him. He didn't even touch the ball, Makaula, and you look, he knows, he's celebrating, he says, I felt the contact, but the referee says, come here, and the facial expression changes immediately. Like a naughty boy says, ow.
Fans still in good spirits, despite the fact that we're more than halfway through this opening period and yet to see a goal. A year ago, we already had 3 goals at this stage, although that's where it ended. All-Stars winning 3-0 against Magesi. That's a lovely ball in behind, and just started to run away from Hlongwane, who couldn't cut it back as much as he wanted to.
But what a brilliant run. I mean, he's running off the shoulder of Sisani there, and one thing, if he tried to control it, he was going to just run out of the ball, but he made sure that he tries to get that early cross in where Ndondo was lurking on the far post.
Now this looks promising for Orlando Pirates, sets up for Van Rooyen. Siema, after all that good work, will have to rush back. Or it's Masilela rather. Now Siema has some work to do. Vilakazi has stolen it from him, claiming there was a hand involved in stopping his progress, or is he indicating a high boot?
Yeah.
Sales. Siema gets his head on it. Now Hlongwane. Khonyane to no one.
He was supposed to shoot there. Hlongwane, that's why he called for it, and Hlongwane laid it perfectly. Sales on this left hand side, brilliant cross again. Hoto tries to clear it, and look at Hlongwane just noticing there. You just, with power, your open foot, the left foot, you try to find the furthest post with a curl. There's the high foot that Vilakazi was complaining about from Sasani.
Masangani sliding it through. Oh, it's an excellent ball, but well defended. Vilakazi has been central to everything. Khonyane. Run all the way through to Langa. Salis was on the move. Langa couldn't find him. Ayende sliding in. Gabinde. Peterson.
Grant, it brings so much joy to me to see these DDC players. Just tells you that the DSTV Diski Challenge campaign has been excellent. I mean, since we started, how many players have we promoted into the first team?
Yeah.
Some now regulars into the national team.
Yeah, absolutely. What a tremendous platform to grow South Africa's next generation of talents. When you look at those All-Stars teams over the years, and you spot players who've almost always gone on to bigger and better things. You look at 2023, Lindiwe Sikali was selected in that team. Now you'd think from a smaller side, maybe he wouldn't get that many votes, but the public had recognized, here's a boy playing in DDC. We would love to see how he copes against senior players. As Coach Wadu watches on, he's yet to lose to Manqoba Mngqithi since entering South African football last season. Towards the end of last season, his gallant side played against Le Mans for Golden Arrows. That was back in April. 1-1 draw. They went ahead through. Current Arrows player Junior Dion was set up by Nim Tajela, who Wadu worked hard to bring to Orlando Pirates when he joined the Buccaneers. And then, of course, not so long ago, we're in the league, Pirates going away to Le Mans for Golden Arrows, winning 3-1. Got up and running with an own goal. Ndaba heavily involved in the scoring of that. Arrows equalised through Tukazani Kumalo, and then Butuma came off the bench to hit 2. The second coming from a superb assist from Rele Mofokeng, who seems to be rediscovering his best form at just the right time, as offside called here against Hlongwane.
You mentioned in the Coach Wadu, as we look at this, Sales again, the combination between him and Hlongwane has been brilliant. He seems to actually find Hlongwane because he has studied that he runs off the shoulders of the defender quite easily.
Oh, Makaula has done well. Now Masangani. Siema on his outside. It's Tito again. It's nicked away from him by Ndlondlo. Gabinde. Back to Peterson. It's Sitole. Vilakazi. Sliding in is Khonyane. Ndlondlo not on the same page as Vilakazi. as has been the case over the course of the competition. It's up to the public to decide who will be the man of the match.
Hard tackle there coming from Khonyani on Maswangani. It's just follow through when he went through. The momentum got him through Maswangai. But I'm happy to see Maswangai up on his feet. And one thing we can spot with Orlando Pirates setup and tactics in today, Maswangai has been given that free role just behind Mbutuma, because you find him on the left-hand side and then on this right-hand side trying to create something with Van Rooyen.
Prize pot now as well for fucking Goldwasserbonne down at 59,000. So still an opportunity to win if you correctly guess the team that will score first and win. And you can do that by dialing *120 *660#. Make your prediction. Also visit Carling Black Label Cup.co.za. It's exactly the same formula to vote for champion of the match.
Mabaso in that middle of the park. He's been quiet, but he's doing the right things. He's covering the right areas. We see Maswangai just fouling him.
Kaizer Chiefs DDC captain is Thulani Touch Mabaso. They started to slowly introduce him to life in the first team. He did go on the pre-season tour to the Netherlands with Kaizer Chiefs. Buthelezi for CM. Van Rooyen. The rain perhaps becoming a little more of a factor now.
Hence now it's becoming a little bit difficult to play those quick 1-2s, because now the ball is skidding off the wet grass. So now the first touch has to be incredibly perfect, Grant.
Sales. Nods it towards Hlongwane. Orlando Pirates have it again through Mda. Hoto. Buthelezi. And out before the CMO was able to knock it back in field.
Cells on the ball, just using his body. He protects the ball very well. That's one thing we've noticed about All-Stars players, Allende, Sales, Hlongwane. They can protect the ball. And you know, one thing Aula should learn is that if you don't see the ball, don't go through the man.
Vilakazi over the free kick once again. This time the delivery straight out. Much better earlier in the match from the same position.
I just feel now, because now he's kicked the second ball, same thing, went out to the furthest post. Maybe you should try the near post, and speak to his players that I'm gonna just clip it in their first post, you run towards it, because 2 of similar free kicks has been kicked out.
Buthelezi wasn't under all too much pressure that time around, but I think it's an accumulation of Hlongwane's willingness to chase after him. Is that panic was already in the back of his mind, even though Hlongwane wasn't bearing down on him. Salas, one touch, brilliantly done, and well, it's the man that you want to connect with the ball on the edge of the area, but he hasn't got it right this time around.
I'm enjoying this combination play here between Sales, Allende and Hlongwane. Look how he sets up the ball. But Hlongwane, how he can so confident to hold the ball just in front of those 2 central defenders, Nda and Sesani. It shows the maturity. And, you know, he's just coming back now from a trip with Kaizer Chiefs.
Now it's gone all the way through. Buthelezi will get there ahead of Hlongwane. There have been moments where it's been evident, lucky that these players don't play together regularly, but then there have been other instances where they've put together some really slick stuff.
And you know, we look at the bench. Who's on the bench? The coaches, the 3 coaches plus our championship coach. You look at the style of play of Manqoba, keeping the ball, combination play. And then you look the style of Vela Khumalo, disciplined at the back with Mabaso in front. And when you look at the style of Angelos, it's those speedy wings that we've noticed from Langa in the wing play.
Well, the noise level's gone up significantly as Pirates get forward for the first time in a little while. And this does look promising for them still here. Some desperate defending on the edge of the area as it's picked up by Maswangani, laid off to Makaula. Keep it going with Dion Hotto. Well, if I can allow you to just imagine yourself in this scenario for a little while, where you've been selected for a team like this, will the players see this as a chore, or will they relish the opportunity to play alongside other excellent players that come from other teams, be coached by a different coach, albeit for 2 training sessions, but perhaps pick up something that lifts their game, in particular for the DDC players, but even those that are coming from the first team?
It's a dream come true for players to be part of any squad or a setup like this, because now remember, sometimes you have your role model that you're going to be playing with, and then you learn so much from them that you can even improve your game through them. You look at Hlongwane, who will be next to other players like Sales and Alende. He learns how to control the ball, the confidence on the ball, the runs that he makes.
Strong run initially from Hlongwane, eventually upended and dispossessed. Also, if you look at the technical team of this All-Stars side, it's comprised of gentlemen from so many different sides. So we've got the likes of Vela Khumalo and Evangelos Velios, which does make a lot of sense, especially Vela Khumalo with all the Kaizer Chiefs players. Evangelos Velios was an assistant coach last season under Jose Rivero for the All-Stars, and of course was part of the setup that won with Stellenbosch back in 2023, although he wasn't involved in the Carling Cup as he just recently got married. And the team doctor comes from Richards Bay, Lugisi Majola. Got the kit managers from the Montville Golden Arrows. Allende gets it, clips it forwards, looking for Sales. It's not the most convincing clearance from Elisa Nda, and Sales has won it in the air. Now, will that be a penalty? Referee says no. Well, no card this time for simulation, as was the case 22 minutes in with Fundo Vilakazi. Oh,
left hand,
man.
Left hand on the chest of Hlongwane, then getting away with this one because he pulled Hlongwane back. If he didn't have that left hand on him, Hlongwane was straight to goal. That's why you see the frustration. But once again, the referee didn't get it right. But it's because of the view that he had. He had the back of Nda, so he didn't notice the hand on Hlongwane's chest, pulling him back.
Two very contentious calls in this opening period. Neither has gone the way of this All-Stars side. Hlongwane battling hard. Sithole, Gabinde. Sithole is found by Sundowns at the Hangeni Sports Academy. Allende. This little Chilean that has had such an impact on South African football since his arrival.
Did you see the experience from Allende? Telling Vilakazi exactly like, okay, you just passed me, you played a 1-2, make an angle for me so I can bring the third man in. That's what you get when you're playing against a star-studded team. Sorry, Grant, I'm getting excited here. You know, the movement from the all-star players, especially that combination play, even this side in Ndlondlo, the back two, Ngabinde and Sithole, they've been wonderful in covering each other.
I agree with you completely. If you are a Vilakazi and you come and link up with this all-stars team, even though it's your third time in a row, and you are not coming here to absorb and to get better, then, you know, you're doing something wrong. And I think all of these players, in particular the DDC players, having seen Bukazi and McCarthy last season playing for the All-Stars and then graduating to the first team, they know that it's a real opportunity for them. A little short on numbers up front are Orlando Pirates, and Phuthuma down under the challenge of Mabaso. He's been with Kaizer Chiefs now for a good 5 years, coming through their development structures.
Yep, Ndlondlo, they're just trying to close Phuthuma down, and you know, once again, the players, when they feel a little touch, they will go down just to get that advantage and kill the momentum of the game.
Now Masangani. Phuthuma racing afterwards, and Peterson gets there first. In your shot, Ponkosi Ponto. And Robin Mwiti is up off the bench. He did say that he will involve the champion coach as much as possible in the decision-making processes over the course of this game, and he's allowed him to have his input during the training session. Coach Tonton, 31-year-old who hails from Singa right here at KZN. So two KZN boys, they'll understand each other.
Absolutely, you know, Bakhulumi Zulu, Grant. You know, I enjoyed seeing what Peterson did there to just close and get that ball in his hands. You know, he calculated if that ball is coming, and he looked at Phuthuma and was able to get there quickly and close the danger down.
Now, fresh off their second trophy of the season, Orlando Pirates fans are in a good mood, aided by some festive cheer as well, despite this very miserable weather. The Pirates have had a tough time in the League Cup over the years. This was the 10th time that they made the final last weekend. They contested it against Gallants in Polokwane, and they only won it once before, back in 2011-12, so just the second time that they've claimed a League Cup title in 41 editions. Had a torrid time of it in the showpiece itself over the years, and it looked as though perhaps it wouldn't be their day again. Gallants doing what they did to Mamelodi Sundowns in the first round and basically trying to hold them to penalties. And Pirates eventually did find a way through in extra time, with Rene Mufokeng coming to the fore. Now it's been squeezed through here for Makaula. He's kept it moving.
Gallants really frustrated Pirates in that 90 minutes, but we always say, you know, the creativity and the depth that Pirates has in their arsenal, it made them come back stronger in the extra time, because the players that were brought from the bench, the likes of Hoto, he was involved in that Rele Mofokeng goal.
Some of the players that are on the park from the beginning, the likes of Otto, as well as Phuthuma and Danson, all did come off the bench in that final. As we enter into 2 minutes of additional time at the end of this first half here at the Moses Mabhida Stadium. Still nothing to separate these two sides. Van Rooyen's in plenty of space. He's worked it here to Phuthuma. Still hanging on to it, looking for an option. It's Danson. Van Rooyen. Tuma for Danson, lovely touch. Now Van Rooyen, space to lift his head and deliver in a ball. Edge of the area for Masangani, cracks it. I think Peterson probably had that covered, given how if it was a fairly tame one. Well defended by All Stars. John Lotus Sales. Siema meets it ahead of Langa.
You know, I enjoyed the way All Stars are defending that ball. Once they win it, they don't just move it forward, Grant. You know, they play it out and look for those positive passes going forward. As we saw in Ndlondlo, they're trying to find Langa on this left-hand side.
Closing seconds of the opening period. Hand clear by Makaula. Putuma. Van Rooyen. Masanga. Now Van Rooyen. On the left foot. Will he find the space to shoot? Little slip as he sought to deliver it either goalwards or to a teammate. Either way, the wet surface leaving him a little compromised as the whistle blows to indicate the end of this opening 45 minutes. There have been some good moments for both teams, but in all fairness, neither keeper has